sir.
Let everybody enter. Good morning. Good morning. What is the strength of your class? Do you know anyone? 60 or? Okay, I just started the mean value theorem in the last class. One class is taken. That was also not the full class. Actually, I'm taking class from home today, and that will be actually better for me because there is no problem in sound and other things. Okay, I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but from college, na, I just want to tell you, from college the sound system is not very good. Okay, and I cannot, I don't have any laptop to carry. Okay, so that poses some problem. If I set your problem classes preferably on Monday, Tuesday, then you have no objection, na? You have no problem.
No, sir.
Maybe
problem.
from
No, sir.
4 p.m. or 5 p.m. I will arrange the class. That will be better for you also. At a time taking 3 or 4 classes, you will have some rest, then again doing some class. Okay, so I will set it
What will be the
better.
duration, sir?
And I am also getting some. Bolo?
What will be the duration of classes?
Duration class is can you take the online class more than 1 hour? It will be maximum 1 hour. Otherwise, it will become a health hazard. Okay, it
Yes,
will be
sir.
health hazard. Maximum 1 hour.
Yes, sir.
Sir, in 1
Okay,
hour,
because
20
you have to
minutes.
do it not 1 hour 20 minutes. Okay, it will be excessive because you have to do it regularly. I have to also do it regularly. So it will tell upon your health. Eyesight will be totally gone.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. And there is no hurry. There is enough time for the completion of syllabus. So just do it slowly, but definitely.
When will be our exam, sir?
And that is the thing nobody knows. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It may be deferred, and all the academic years are already totally massacred. So nobody can say when your exam actually neither you can say how your exam will be taken and how when your exam will be taken. Both are in deep uncertainty. Okay, but it will be clarified. No problem. Uh, the university is working on that.
Sir, originally the exams were
But
in.
class test will be in time. Okay, class test will be in time. Okay, Siddharth.
Yes, sir. Originally
Now,
the exams were in March.
I have already shared my screen. So
Sir,
March.
where is
Okay,
Samudray, sir?
if it can happen in March. Sumit, they told you.
No, sir. Originally, maybe
I don't know.
previous academic years.
Actually, it should be an offline. Actually, nobody is preferring the online class test. There is no meaning of taking online final test.
I think at the
So
end
keeping
of the
this in mind,
semester, we will promote
how
it.
to arrange the test? I don't know. Okay, better not to discuss all these things right now. So I'm just
Yes, sir.
online teaching images, CSIT. Okay, mean value theorem. So can everybody see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Actually, Rolle's theorem was discussed today, was discussed yesterday in the last class, but it will not be bad if I again repeat it. Okay. I think I should again repeat it, then you will also recap it, then we will proceed again. So our mean value theorem syllabus, actually this is the subtopic in the differential calculus part. I have already told you we have 5 units, matrix, differential calculus, integral calculus, and 2 vectors. So out of that, mean value theorem starts with Rolle's theorem. That is very important. So Rolle's theorem is basically about a function which is continuous in a closed interval AB, where A and B terminal points are included. This is given by this A less than or equal to X less than or equal to B, and df dx. This is also exists for all X in the open interval. That means f dash X is also continuous. Okay, whenever the value exists for in an interval, f dash X is finite, so it is continuous in the open interval, because we are not taking A or B the terminal points, because if I take f dash X existing on A, then we will have to assume that fx is continuous beyond A and the left hand side of A. Okay, that is not assumed in the first condition. So we are avoiding these 2 points, A and B. Okay, if you can remember, you have already done the definition of, you have learned the definition of df dx. That is f of x plus h minus fx by h. So h is a small increment. So that is the df dx. Now, this df dx can be defined in a left-hand side way, but when h is greater than 0, when h is less than 0. When h is less than 0, f x plus h, if you evaluate at point A, that means f of a plus h, this will be beyond this x equal to a value. That means function should exist there. That is why this part is not given. This at point A is not, because in the first condition we are assuming that fx is only continuous in the closed interval AB up to A, not beyond A. But f dash A requires that fx plus h will be having finite value in the left hand side or right hand side of A. So that is not taken. So that is why it is only open interval. I hope the logic is clear to all of you. And the third condition, fa equal to fb. Okay, everybody feel free to interact me. Okay, if you don't understand anything, feel free to interact me, because this is online class. I can't understand who one is understanding and which is getting or not.
Excuse me, sir. Sir,
Hello?
can you tell that second point again? Does f dash x
Second
exist
point,
for
okay,
all?
second part,
Yes, sir.
just remember the definition of f dash t. What is df dx? Df dx is limit of h tending to 0, f of a plus h minus fa by h. That is the definition. You can remember if you have learned it in the 11-12.
Yes, sir.
At point x is equal to a. Okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
if this has to exist, f dash x exists means the limit should exist.
Yes, sir.
Okay, isn't it? Now, if the
Yes,
limit
sir.
is existing, then f of a plus h minus fa, this should be a finite value. That
Yes,
means
sir.
f a plus h must have a finite value. If it is infinity or undefined, you cannot define the limit,
Yes, sir.
isn't it? So f of
Yes,
a
sir.
plus h, when h is slightly less than a, if it is greater than a, it will fall under the interval in the
Yes,
right hand side of a. Can you understand? So
Yes,
that is
sir.
no problem.
Yeah.
It is already
Yes,
in the
sir.
continuity is given. But if you take h is a small increment in the left hand side, that is also possible. H is less than, that is
Yes,
called
sir.
left hand side derivative. You know, the
Yes, sir.
derivative is
Left-hand side.
existing when left and right hand both exist. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
So if
Yes,
a
sir.
plus h should exist, that means beyond the left hand side of a, I am assuming that fx is again continuous. But this is contradicting the first point. I hope
Yes,
it
sir.
is clear to everyone.
Y-
Any confusion for anyone, any side?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Then this is the Rose theorem. Then there will be, and third condition, Fa is equal to Fb. So if these three conditions are satisfied, so there will be one point C within AB. Okay, C cannot be equal to A or equal to B. Must be inside AB, such that F dash C equal to 0. That means the gradient, the slope at the point C will be parallel to x-axis. So there will be one point, at least one point, where the tangent will be parallel to x-axis. Okay, F dash C equal to 0 means this. You have done, you know, what is tan theta? Dy dx is tan theta. You have done it. You have used it in the coordinate geometry when you found the equation of tangent and normal. Okay, so C is a point. There will be at least one point where this thing will happen. This is the geometrical interpretation of Rose theorem. Okay. Now, okay, geometrical interpretation we have already discussed. I'm not harping on the same tune. Now, verify Rose theorem. The first question is fx is equal to cos x in minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So this is your AB. This is your AB, minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, and function is fx. Okay, let us solve the first question first. So obviously, fx is cos x, which is finite valued. Is there any point within minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 where cos x is infinite? Never. Because cos x is always having value from minus 1 to 1, isn't it? So in minus pi by 2, cos x will be 0, because cos minus pi by 2 is cos pi by 2 is 0. And again in cos pi by 2, again 0. So it will from 0, it will change something, then again go to 0. All finite value. So no problem, fx is continuous. You just remember that whenever, as long as the fx is finite valued for any finite x, that will ensure the continuity. This is the basic working rule. Okay. Now fx is continuous. F dash x is minus sin x. Derivative of f dash x is minus sin x. Within open interval minus pi by 2 less than x less than pi by 2. Okay. Now this is also continuous. Okay. What is the value of sine minus pi by 2? That is minus of sine pi by 2. That is minus 1. And this minus plus. So at minus pi by 2, this value of f dash x is 1. And at pi by 2, the value of f dash x is minus of sine pi by 2. That is minus 1. So 1 to minus 1. Again, finite value. So the first two conditions are satisfied, and the third condition is also satisfied because f is equal to fb. What is f minus pi by 2? 0. Cos pi minus pi by 2, cos pi by 2 is also 0. So all the three conditions are satisfied. So there should be one point C. Now let us evaluate the C. How to evaluate? So solve this equation. We are given that f dash C will be 0. That means f dash x is equal to minus sin C. F dash C will be minus sin C. So minus sin C equal to 0. That means sin C equal to 0. That is C equal to 0. Okay, sin 0 is 0. And 0 is a point within minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So this function satisfies Rose theorem. Okay. Any question?
No, sir.
Now, at this point, actually, I will not show you any slide for this topic today. Actually, I didn't collect it, but let me tell you that these Rose conditions is actually a sufficient condition only, not necessary condition. What is the meaning of this thing? Listen carefully. The meaning of this thing is that if the Rose theorem is satisfied, then there must be one point, C. This C must exist. But if the Rose theorem is not satisfied, then also the such a point C may exist. This is the actual meaning of Rose theorem. When Rose theorem is satisfied, it cannot happen that there is no C. There must be one such C where the tangent is parallel to x-axis. But when the Rose theorem is the reverse implication is not there. If the Rose theorem is not satisfied, then it may exist, may not exist. We cannot say. So this is called only sufficient condition. We will again solve some problem. Actually, I could not find the problem today. So next day I will try to find out the problem and show you. Okay. So when this thing happens, when Rose theorem is not satisfied, still there is a point. Okay. Now, next problem is next exercise. Fx is equal to, what was that? 2x cube plus x square minus 4x minus 2. Okay. This is a simple example. All polynomial function, just keep it in your mind. All polynomial functions are always continuous, always differentiable. always continuous, always differentiable. Okay, this is always true. So no extra tension. This type of function will be always satisfying Rolle's theorem. But it may be difficult to find the point C, because if it is fourth degree, then f dash x will be third degree. Then it is difficult to solve that equation. But that is not the case here. If an fx is third degree, so f dash x will be second degree. Okay, so it will be very easily solved, and you can find two points. Okay, and you have to check whether which point is lying within this interval minus root 2 to root 2. So I am leaving this second problem as an exercise to all of you. Okay, all of you will solve the second point problem to verify yourself. The third one is fx is 2 plus x minus 1 whole to the power 2 by 3. Now this problem, this a function is again continuous. Okay, within 0 to 2. Again within 0 to 2 it is continuous. There is no infinite value. At 0, you may have some hesitation. At 0, it is minus 1 whole to the power 2 by 3. So if you can write this way, minus 1 whole to the power 2 whole to the power 1 by 3. Now minus 1 whole to the power 2 is 1. And 1 to the power 1 by 3 will be some real number. Some real number. Okay, so 2 plus some real number is again a finite value. There will be no infinite value. So fx is always continuous. And at x equal to 2, it is 2 minus 1, 1 to the power 2 by 3 is again 1. And everywhere within this is okay. This function is finite value. So it is continuous. But what will happen if I differentiate this thing f dash x? Let's see. The differentiation will give you this thing 2 by 3 x minus 1 whole to the power minus 1/3. All of you are very much conversant with the process of differentiation, so you can do it. So 2 by 3 x minus 1 whole to the power 2 by 3 minus 1, that is 1 minus 1 by 3. Now this thing will be actually 1 by x minus 1 whole to the 1/3. And this will not exist at x is equal to 1. It will be 1 by 0. So 1 by cannot finite value. So fx is not derivable at a point within 0 to 2. This is not at the terminal points. It is inside, well inside within 0 to 2. So at this point, derivative does not exist. So second condition is not satisfied. So Rolle's theorem do not hold. Rolle's theorem do not hold. Okay. Okay. Now, okay. Third. I have solved third. Fourth one. Fourth one is, what is the problem given? It is fx is equal to mod x when minus 1 to 1, within minus 1 to 1. You know that already fx is equal to mod x. Now this mod x can be written in this way. For negative x, it should be minus x, because minus of minus is positive. Suppose x is minus half. So minus of minus half is half. Okay. So mod x should be, you know, all of you know mod x is always positive. So when x is itself negative, it should be minus x. And when x is positive, then mod x is x. So this function can be broken into two parts, minus 1 to 0 and 0 to 1, where the function definition is changing, minus x to x. Okay. So this is a broken definition function. You have to check particularly those points where the definition is being changed. That is at the point 0 in this case. Okay. In all other points where the function definition is same, the function value will be obviously finite. From minus 1 to 0, it is all finite. Okay. And again from 0 to 1, it is all finite. But when it is changing from 0 less than to 0 greater than, there may be some problem. So let us check this thing. The function is continuous on minus 1 to 1, no problem. But what about the derivative? So what I was telling you, the left hand side derivative at the point 0. How we can write this thing? Limit of f0 plus h, okay, at point 0. So f0 plus h minus f0 by h tending to 0 minus. So I am taking a small slight change in the negative direction, that is decreasing. And right hand side derivative is this f0 plus h minus f0 by h tending to 0 plus. Now if I evaluate left hand side derivative, f0 plus h, that is h is negative, h is slightly negative, so f is negative. H is negative means fh will be, what will be fh? It will be minus h as per the definition. As per the definition, when x is negative, fx is minus x. So when h is negative, fh will be minus h. So minus h minus 0, because f0 is 0 as per the definition. So minus h by h is minus 1. So left hand side derivative is minus 1. Similarly, right hand side derivative is f0 plus h. H is positive. H is positive means fh is h as per the definition. So h minus 0 by h is 1. Though left hand right hand side derivative are not same, so f dash s does not exist at x equal to 0. Again the Rowe's theorem is not satisfying. Okay. Okay. Then let me show you one interesting problem on Rowe's theorem. Before starting Lagrange's theorem, I should discuss this problem. Okay, first of all, there is another problem. Okay, this type of problem we have already solved, so I'm not discussing the problem again. Application of Rowe's theorem. Listen carefully what we can solve using Rowe's theorem. If y is equal to fx satisfies the Rowe's theorem in the closed interval ab, then f dash x equal to 0 for some x belonging to ab. Now, as any solution of f dash s equal to 0 will give us a root of f dash s equal to 0. What is the meaning of solution? When fx equal to 0 is a function, now if x is equal to at x is equal to a, fx is equal to 0, what we call? We say a is a root of the equation, fx equal to 0. When left hand side is 0, actually for all value of x, fx is not equal to 0. Fx equal to 0 only for certain value of x. Those are called root. So this is if the f dash s equal to 0, then x is a root of the equation f dash s equal to 0. Suppose x is equal to alpha. So if alpha is a root of this f dash s equal to 0. So we can say that at least one root of f dash s equal to 0 will belong to AB. Okay, because from Rowe's theorem, because where from I can say this thing? Can you tell me? How can I say that this root, if f dash equal to 0, the solution of this equation will be within A to B? Anyone can say how we can infer this thing?
Because 0 belongs to interval a to b.
No, how Rowe's theorem is used here. Suppose the function is defined within A to B. It is given. Now how we can say this root is belonging to A to B? This is the Rowe's theorem. If a function is within A to B where fa and fb equal to 0, that means A and B are, suppose fa equal to fb, then there will be some value c where f dash c equal to 0. So that means if f dash x equal to 0 for some value of x, and if the function is satisfying all the continuity and differentiability within A to B, then there must be this value must reside within A to B. This solution of f dash s equal to 0, suppose the solution is 2, x equal to 2. So this 2 will be within A to B as per the definition of Rowe's theorem, provided the function satisfies the Rowe's theorem. Okay. I am assuming the function satisfying the Rowe's theorem condition. Then if f dash s equal to 0, then that solution must be within A to B by the Rowe's theorem, because we know that there is a point C where f dash c equal to 0 within A to B. Okay. Now this can be used to solve this problem. Okay. Check this thing. And another point is that if x is equal to A and x is equal to B with two roots of fx equal to 0. Suppose fx equal to 0 is having these two roots at x is equal to A and x is equal to B. And y is equal to fx satisfies the condition of Rowe's theorem. Okay, this is assumed. Then if A is equal to fb means there will be one point C, that means there will be one root of f dash x within A to B. Okay, there will be at least one root of f dash x equal to 0 within A to B. Okay, let us check this problem. Suppose fx is given to be x minus a into x minus b into x minus c, where a less than b less than c. That means a, b, c are not all 0, are not all equal also. A, b, c are not all equal. Okay. Now show that f dash s equal to 0 has two roots, one belonging to A to B, another belonging to B to C. So within this interval A to B, there will be one root of f dash x, another root will belong to B to C interval. How to check these things? How to argue? Okay. See, FA equal to 0 and FB is also equal to 0. That means FA is equal to FB. Now, if FA is equal to FB, so there must be one value. Suppose I cannot say C here. I suppose it is equal to some alpha. Okay. Suppose it is alpha because C is already used in the problem. So let it be denoted by alpha. So there will be one value alpha where f dash alpha must be equal to 0 by Rolle's theorem. And f dash alpha equal to 0 means alpha is the root of f dash x equal to 0. That means f dash x will have one root within A to B. Are you getting? Similarly, B to C. So FB equal to 0, FC equal to 0. And FB equal to FC equal to B means by Rolle's theorem, there is a point, suppose beta, within B to C, where f dash beta will be equal to 0. And A to C need not be discussed because A is less than C. So there will be already A to B, there is a point, and B to C, there is a value. So A to C is already covered. So this case is redundant. We don't have to check A to C. Already A less than B less than C, we have arranged this thing. So there will be one root within B to C and one root within A to B. And the general result follows in this way. If y is equal to fx be a polynomial of degree n, and if fx equal to 0 has real roots, only real roots, then f dash x equal to 0, f double dash x equal to 0, up to fn minus y equal to 0, all will have real roots. And it is in fact a general version of above mentioned application, because if fx equal to 0 have all real roots, then between two consecutive roots of fx equal to 0, exactly one root of f dash x will lie. Okay, so this fx equal to 0, this has n roots. Suppose alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, alpha n. So between alpha 1 and alpha 2, there will be one root beta 1 for f dash x. Is it clear? By Rolle's theorem. Okay, the function is assumed to be continuous and differentiable up to nth minus 1 degree, because it is already given a polynomial of degree n. So I told you all polynomial functions are always continuous, always differentiable up to n minus 1 degree. So no problem. So this function, this fx equal to 0 is having roots, suppose alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, this one. These are all unequal real numbers. So f alpha 1 equal to 0, f alpha 2 equal to 0. That means by Rolle's theorem, there will be one beta 1 say. So there means within alpha 1 and alpha 2, where f dash beta 1 equal to 0. Similarly, alpha 2 within alpha 2 and alpha 3, there will be one beta 2. Within alpha 3 alpha 4, there will be one beta 3. This way, continue. So f dash x, that will have n minus 1 number of roots. Similarly, f double dash x will have n minus 2 number of roots. Okay, each within the previous interval. One within the previous intervals. And f n minus 1 will have exactly one root. Okay, this is a very general result which can be inferred from Rolle's theorem. And another very important problem is this. Okay, this I have copied from a book. So that the equation x minus a whole cube plus x minus b whole cube plus x minus c whole cube equal to 0 cannot have more than one real root, where a, b, c are real, not all equal. A, b, c are real, not all equal. Okay. So we have to show that without any actual solution, we have to show that this equation cannot have any one real root, more than one real root. Okay. Okay. First of all, you should know that any polynomial function, this is a cubic polynomial. Okay. X minus a whole cube, that will give you a cubic polynomial. So any polynomial of degree 3 will have exactly 3 solutions that you already know by that time. Now this out of these 3 solutions, 2 things can happen. One is all the solutions are real. All the solutions are real. Okay. And another possibility is one solution is real, or 2 are complex conjugate. Because you know that when the coefficients are all real for a polynomial function, all the coefficients are real, then complex roots comes in conjugate. If 2 plus 3i is a root, then 2 minus 3i will be automatically a root. If 5 plus I is a root, 5 minus I will be automatically a root. Complex conjugate. Okay. So these equations have 2 possibilities. One is either 3 real root or 1 real root, 2 complex root, conjugate roots. Okay. Now we have to show that this cannot have more than 1 real root. How to show? Okay. Fx is equal to this. it is continuous and differentiable everywhere. F dash x is also 3 into x minus a whole square plus x minus b whole square plus x minus c whole square. Okay. Now, f dash x equal to 0 when this is possible. When this is possible? Tell me.
Sir, if f of x is continuous.
It is continuous because it's a polynomial function, quadratic function. But I am now asking that when, for which value of x, f dash s will be equal to 0? Tell me.
X equals to A.
X equal to a means the first term will be 0. The second and third term will not be 0. Huh?
X equal to A, B, C.
X equal to, at the same time, x cannot be a, b, c both. All.
Yes, sir. ABC are different, not equal.
If these are
Therefore-
different. So x cannot be equal to a and b and c at the same time. So what is the conclusion? Very interesting problem. What is the conclusion? Tell me, what are you thinking?
That it has not one real root.
It will not be 0. For any real value of x, f dash s is not 0. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear to all? Any confusion? Tell me. F dash s cannot be equal to 0 for any real values of x. That means f dash x is not equal to 0 means, according to Rose's theorem, if fx has two real roots, just what I discussed in the immediately before that. If fx has two real roots, alpha, beta, then f dash s will have one root within alpha, beta. It follows from the Rose's theorem. But if f dash s has no point where f dash s equal to 0, what that will mean? That will mean that fx is not having any 2 points alpha, beta where f alpha and f beta equal to 0. That means fx cannot have more than one real root. It can have at most one real root, because if fx had two real roots, suppose alpha, beta, then f alpha will be equal to 0, f beta will be equal to 0. Then according to the Rose theorem, there will be one point, say gamma, where f dash gamma will be 0. But there is no such point. No such point is possible. My argument is clear to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. There is no such
Yes,
point
sir.
possible, real value, where f dash gamma is 0. That means there cannot be such point alpha, beta, where f alpha and f beta equal to 0. Are you getting? So this is the thing. This is a very important application of Rose theorem. Okay. This I have already discussed. The last one I will discuss. Prove that 2a0 square is less than 15a. If this is true, if 2a0 square less than 15a, then all roots of this thing cannot be real. All roots of this equation, x to the power 5 minus a0 is cannot be real. It is given that a0, a, b, c, d are all real. Okay. First of all, fx is equal to this given. Now f dash s will be 5x to the power 4 minus 4a0 x cube plus 9a x square plus 2bx plus c. And f double dash x equal to 20x cube minus 12a0 x square plus 18ax plus 2b. F triple dash x equal to 60x square minus 24a0x plus 18a. And that can be written as 6 10x square minus 40x plus 3a. Now discriminant of this thing, that is f triple dash x 3 equal to 0, I am checking the possibility of solution of this thing. If this is I put 0, so discriminant will be 16a0 square minus b square minus 4ac. b square minus 4ac, that will be 16a0 square minus 120a. 120a. So taking 8 common, 2a0 square minus 15a, that is less than 0. That means the roots of the f triple dash s is not real. Cannot be real because discriminant is always less than 0. That means this f triple dash s is never 0 for any real x. That means f 2 dash has also not have any real solution. Isn't it? Just by the previous general criterion. If f double dash s has two solutions, then f triple dash s will have one solution. But f triple dash s has no real solution. So f double dash s will have no real solution. And similarly, f dash s will have no real solution. Okay, so all the roots of this cannot be real. Are you clear? In the
Yes,
the
sir.
reverse way, you have to argue.
Yes, sir.
Starting from f double dash, we showed that f triple dash x cannot have any real solution. So that will in general imply that f double dash x is not having any real solution. And that will imply f dash x cannot have any real solution. That will imply fx cannot have any real solution. Tell me if anyone is confused, anyone is having any question on that. I
No,
don't
sir.
want to
Where-
just feed you a lot of material in one day. There's enough time. So just
Yes, sir.
make
Sir,
sure
the
that you
part
understand.
where you solve about the discriminant.
Huh?
10x square minus 4a0x plus 3a.
Huh.
Sir,
Huh.
what you are putting?
This is already given. This is already given. 2a0 square minus 15a is less than 0. This is given. So this should be always less than 0.
Okay, sir.
F triple dash x.
F triple dash x, you are converting that into a form which is given 2a0.
I am checking that if f triple dash x equal to 0, this equation has any real solution. I'm checking that. I'm coming to that by calculating this discriminant that f triple dash x equal to 0 cannot have any real solution. Is up to this is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if f triple dash equal to 0 cannot have any real solution, then by Rolle's theorem, f double dash x equal to 0 cannot have any real solution because every pair of real solution of f double dash x, there must be one real solution of f triple dash x by Rolle's theorem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now continue this argument for the previous case. For the previous case, this way, go up to fx. This argument should be backtracked, iteratively used.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, okay, regarding attendance, actually, I will send you one Google form. The previous attendance also you will fill up. Everyone will just give your name and roll number, though it will be recorded. Okay. I have not actually created that. I will create it and send to you, everyone. Okay. It will take 1 or 2 days. Okay. After that, attend. Group. You will just open it and give the attendance. Okay. All of you should collect it, all the notes, and I will give you some assignment also time to time. I will give you some assignment also. Okay. It is just 1 or 2 classes. Let the class continue. Then after 3 or 4 classes, I will give you some attendance. Okay. Assignment.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Actually, I already have one assignment. Okay, I'm sending it. If you can, you try to solve these things, but I didn't discuss everything. Mean value theorem, Lagrange's, this I have not discussed. So let me discuss all these things. Then you start. Better you start this solving assignment after that. Okay, but just keep it to yourself for the time being. Just keep it. I'm sending everything to you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I'm concluding today's session. Bye, everyone. Actually, from home it will be better. You can see. And from college, I don't know. There is some sound problem or other thing. Got it?
Yes,
So please, if I change the time for your convenience and my convenience also, please adjust it. Okay.
So next class.
Okay, sir.
Next class, I will tell you. I will just check the routine and tell you. Sometime I can take it from college also. Okay. Every day I cannot take it from home, but sometime I will take it preferably from home. Okay.
Sir, you take class regularly. You submit there.
No. This is my class. Somit they will not take the class. This is my class. Somit is taking your class. He is not supposed to take class because IT second. Huh? So how many? He has taken one class.
Actually, yesterday I took one half class for you. Okay, actually I was not ready, but Somit, did he start it something?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No,
In
sir.
routine,
No, sir.
It is written, na? It is written in the routine, I think. Oh,
Yes, sir.
that is why. Okay, let me clarify this doubt. This actually that was done for two sections, ITA and ITB. But now the IT is only one section. Okay, so one section that is coming to me. Okay, only I will
Okay, sir.
teach it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
sir.
Send notes.